to last story of the year. I'm sorry, the last big story of the year that is changing the face of MMA for years to come, probably, is the redemption and fall of John Jones. John Jones, he's had a fucking crazy, and look, I'd be a John Jones fan. I have no problem with a guy. I have no problem with a cheat. I have no problem with a guy who does drugs and parties, cheats on his wives. I don't give a shit about any of that stuff, okay? More power to you. But own it. Be who you are. Don't be the fucking Jesus-loving, Philippian tattoo motherfucker. Be the piece of shit that you are, and I will root for you, okay? But John Jones, he's had a lot of troubles. He finally gets his life back on track, comes back after being suspended the last suspension was for the estrogen blockers. Yeah, the estrogen blockers.
Estrogen blockers at UFC 200.
Yeah.
He served a year, I believe, and then he came back, and then he, knocked out Daniel Cormier.
We're like, holy shit.
Performance. Everybody was swinging off his nuts. The Rock went out there and gave him tons of praise. And lo and behold, test positive. And it was just like, wow, what is this guy doing? It's almost impressive, the amount that he's fucking up. Do you know what I mean? Crazy. And it sucks for Daniel Cormier. It really does. He's the one that's really suffering here. But, great knockout, great disappointment, the biggest waste of talent we've ever seen in mixed martial arts.
Or any sport. I don't know. I don't watch any sports. Have you ever seen anybody else like that was the best that just said, fuck it?
Grace like that? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Harrington, you're a big sports guy. Is there any other athlete that had that, that was considered the best, and then fucking, I don't know how good.
It all the way.
Who was that guy, Aaron Hernandez, who killed himself? Was he considered the best football player? No, right?
Not quite.
Yeah, so John Jones is the dude who's like pound for pound, really that loss against Hamill doesn't really mean shit. I don't know any other athlete that had that. Do you have an example, Harrington?
I mean, like Darryl Strawberry in the 80s was like one of the best baseball players in the league, and he just decided, I'm going to do cocaine and party all night and fuck it. And he had like some great seasons, but he never you know what I mean? Like he went from MVP to like a guy who couldn't get on a team because of his partying.
In England, in soccer, football as we call it, because you do kick the ball with your foot, Paul Gascoigne. Paul Gascoigne was a legendary football player on the England team. Absolutely iconic player, but it wasn't like John Jones. He still had a great career, but unfortunately, he still has a lot of problems to this day. He's an alcoholic, and he's always making the headlines in England for all the wrong reasons, unfortunately. Iconic player, but his personal life is in the toilet, shall we say. I guess, it was a fall from grace, kind of like John Jones, but still, it wasn't because he was getting caught for steroids and all this type of thing, and the shame that John Jones brings. It's a shame. That's the perfect word. The whole John Jones thing is a shame, because I know John. I've spoken to him many times. He's not a bad guy. He's not a bad guy at all. And it's a shame. He's young. Everyone makes mistakes. I've made mistakes. We all make mistakes. You make mistakes, Lewis.
Never.
And he's got the world at his feet. He's got money. He's obviously got a bunch of yes men around him, and he just makes bad decisions. He's making bad decisions. I try and tell this to my kids. There will come times in your life where you have to make a decision. Always try and make good decisions. Because the bad decisions, they will haunt you. And he's just made a catalogue of bad decisions, one after the other. And it's a shame. It really is.
All right, last but not least, let's do the final award, and we're going to wrap up the show with this, which is the most prestigious award given out in probably any awards. Forget the fucking Academy Awards, the Grammys, anything, dude. It is the Believe You Me Fighter of the Year.
Well, before we announce the winner, can we just take a moment to reflect on the 2016 Fighter of the Year by MMA Junkie, by the UFC, by Rolling Stone magazine, by ESPN? Who was that? Who was that won all those titles?
Was it Joanna? It was. She had a really good year, 2016. Who was it?
It was Michael Bisping. Oh, yes. Let's not forget 2016. I did sweep the board, shall we say? But still, anyway.
I tried to give you Fighter of the Year this year. Harrington wouldn't let me.
Yeah, well, I wonder why. Fighter of the Year. Okay, we got a short list. Robert Whittaker, Rose Namajunas, Demetrius Johnson, and Max Holloway. Now, Robert Whittaker, fantastic year. I thought his performance against Yoel Romero was fantastic. I thought the athletic ability that he showed, the boxing, the takedown defense, the cardio, everything was stellar. Of course, he knocked out Jacare as well, which again, amazing. Second round, I believe, knocked him out cold. So Robert Whittaker definitely deserves to be in contention. Rose Namajunas, of course, he took the title from Jan Jacek. We spoke about that. DJ Demetrius Johnson, always in the discussion. We spoke about it, pound for pound. But Max Holloway, got to give it to Max Holloway. For me, fighter of the year. He only fought twice, both times against Jose Aldo, both times stoppages, both times in the third round, I believe. This is a fighter that prior to Conor McGregor was pound for pound the best fighter in the world. After losing to Conor, he handled Frankie Edgar with relative ease, which highlighted the fact that he hadn't lost a step. He just got caught off Conor. And Max Holloway went out there and just took him apart. He looked incredible. He was composed. He's become a huge star now. And Max Holloway, breakout fighter of the year, fighter of the year, performance of the year, funniest motherfucker of the year. I'm a big fan of Maxi Baby, and he wins, believe you me, 2017 Fighter of the Year. Congratulations, my friend.
The fans are going crazy. They loved it, dude.
Right.
That was an amazing speech at the end, too.
I feel like it was.
You gave me goosebumps. Let's go to the second to last award, which is going to be for the Fight of the Year. We can just give out the Fight of the Year. We're not going to name all the other ones. Fuck the other ones.
Yeah, fuck the other ones then. Okay, you do it. Go ahead.
So Fight of the Year, dude. Look, unless you disagree, I give it a Gaethje versus Johnson. I think that both those guys fucking brought it. I think that Gaethje is, he's a guy who had a lot of hype coming in. He more than lived up to the hype, and Johnson's a guy that always brings it. I guess that, look, by the way, I want to say Mike Harrington, this is another point that I want to make, is he starts throwing in all these other more obscure, he threw in Darren Elkins versus Bektik.
I know. I was looking at this list, and you said, let's just go to the winner. And I was looking at it, I was like, yeah, thank God. Fucking Darren Elkins versus Mirsad Bektik. I'm sure it was a great fight, but it doesn't stand out in my mind. And of course, if you're going to do this, you don't have to go for the big blockbuster superstar fights. And of course, Gaethje versus Johnson wasn't one of those. But don't try and be obscure for the sake of being cool and showing your knowledge. Ooh, it was on the Fight Pass prelims. Who cares? So listen, Gaethje versus Johnson, it was an epic battle. It really was. And it was so much so, and I hate to give other podcasts a plug, but after that fight, I worked with Kenny Florian and obviously the whole Fox team. I was there working in Las Vegas. And afterwards, I went for a drink with Kenny and we're just hanging out and, having a chat. And John Anik and Kenny Florian, they have their own podcast. And they actually created a new scale based on that fight. And it's called the Sonnen-Gaethje scale. And that's how you rank a fighter. I think we talked about this before. If you're a 1, you're a Chael Sonnen. And if you're a 10, you're a Justin Gaethje, right? Because they were saying Sonnen has no heart. I don't agree with that. But if you're a 10, you're a Justin Gaethje. Because Justin Gaethje...
The American Gangster... the American Gangster is all heart. You don't disrespect Chael Sonnen that way. I don't like that.
I'm just saying the Sonnen... the Anik Florian podcast, call it the Sonnen-Gaethje scale. All right? Not me. Them. But I'm not focusing on the Sonnen part. I'm focusing on the 10, the Justin Gaethje part, because he just walked through a bloody hurricane of shit. He just kept eating elbows, punches, kicks, knees, and keep walking forward. Poof, poof, He just wouldn't stop. He just kept walking forward, getting cut up to fuck, and he eventually stopped Michael Johnson in the second round in an absolute